Playoff pressure is mounting in Detroit like a late fourth-quarter blitz. The Lions just came off a blistering 15-win season, the kind that hasn't been seen here since the days of Barry, Sanders tearing through defenses, and Calvin Johnson's unbelievable highlight reels. The NFC North is tightening up. The Packers are lurking with their flashes of dominance. The Vikings and Bears are throwing caution and nasty pass rushes into the mix. Detroit knows what's at stake. One slip, one missed protection, and this playoff run could slip right through our hands. And right now, the question is hanging thick in the air. What's going on with Penei Sewell? Is the jewel of our roster still locked in for Detroit, or is something else brewing behind the scenes? It's not just about one player. It's about the identity of this team. Can the Lions keep their rock-solid offensive line intact to protect? Jared Goff maintain this offense's momentum and shut down the division's best pass rushers. Sewell is the foundation, the same Sewell who has risen to no 13 on the NFL Top 100 list, climbing 9 spots higher than last year. The same Sewell who embodies grit, consistency, and that Detroit comeback spirit. But rumors? Don't underestimate them. The offseasons move fast, some starters have left, contracts are being hammered out, and fans are watching every move with a mix of hope and anxiety. Now Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes' biggest draft pick, a man who never misses a start and anchors one of the NFL's most feared O-lines, was seen recently at a high school football game far from the roar of Ford Field at Richmond, SD. Claire, in East China, cheering on local talent. Why? What's he doing there? Is this a hint at deeper community ties or a subtle signal about his place in Detroit's long-term plans? Lions News Fan Report has the urgency you expect, the clarity you demand. Subscribe now if you bleed Honolulu blue and silver. The road to the Super Bowl runs right through that protective right tackle spot. Detroit Lions star Penei Sewell showing up at a small-town high school game might seem like a quiet moment, but it's a statement in a city where the football line between hope and heartbreak is razor thin. On August 28, 2025, Sewell sat in the stands among St. Clair fans during Richmond's commanding 49-19 victory. For those who follow closely, it's not just a gesture of goodwill. This is a man connected deeply to Michigan's football roots, reminding fans he's still one of us even as he battles on the NFL's grandest stages. Now, Sewell isn't just a hometown hero waving from the sidelines. He's a titan on the turf. Ranked 13th overall in the NFL's top 100 players for 2025 by his peers, Sewell has vaulted past established studs like Lane Johnson and Tristan Wirfs, proving year after year he's not just a cog in the machine, he's the engine. Since Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes made him the very first pick in their regime back in 2021, Sewell has started 51 straight games, missing just 1 in 4 seasons. He's not just durable, he's dominant, allowing just a single sack in over 1,100 snaps last season, a stat that's basically unheard of at his position. His 87.5 overall grade, an elite 90.5 run-blocking grade from PFF tell the story clearly. Sewell is the backbone of Detroit's offensive line and one of the NFL's very best. Here's what's crucial for Detroit fans: Sewell's presence. Anchors one of the NFL's premier offensive lines, a unit that's kept Jared Goff upright during a breakout 2024 season and set the stage for Detroit's playoff surge. But with 2 starting linemen walking away in free agency this offseason, the pressure is on to keep Sewell not just on our roster, but playing at this all-pro level. The offensive line chemistry that Campbell and offensive coordinator Ben Johnson have built isn't something you patch quickly. If Sewell were to leave or falter, the ripple effect isn't just felt in pass protection numbers. It's a gut punch to Detroit's goals of a deep postseason run and a legitimate Super Bowl shot. Detroit's rivals in the NFC North are acutely aware of Sewell's impact. The Packers, now armed with Micah Parsons wreaking havoc on quarterbacks, will test any offensive line. Detroit needs its right tackle to be a wall, a line guarding the Pride's quarterback. Sewell's elite pass blocking with pressure allowed on just 8.1% of his snaps. The 16th lowest among right tackles league-wide is no small advantage. This is more than just personal accolades. This is a critical chess piece in a division where one sack can swing momentum and knock Detroit back to the bottom of the standings. It hasn't escaped notice that Sewell even earned votes in the offensive Player of the Year conversation last season, a rare feat for an offensive lineman, and a testament to how dominant he is protecting Goff on a team where every inch, every second counts. Sewell's juice is the difference between an extra touchdown and a failed drive. And with notable Lions veterans gone, the spotlight shines brighter. If Sewell rises further, maybe cracking the top 10 among all NFL players, Detroit's hopes rise with him. Meanwhile, across the league, players like Trey Hendrickson are grabbing headlines with massive contracts and sack totals, but Detroit's focus remains on Sewell, the steady linchpin. The question every Lions fan has to face is this: will our front office double down and build around Sewell, locking him in as our franchise cornerstone for years to come? Or will cap space, contract negotiations, and off-season chess moves threaten to break the team chemistry that has lifted this franchise out of decades of despair? Dan Campbell's vision has always been about grit, buy-in, and building a team that wears its heart on its sleeve. Sewell fits that blueprint perfectly. And let's be honest, watching your all-pro tackle casually chill at a local high school game is refreshing beyond words. It's like spotting a unicorn playing horseshoes downtown. It reminds Detroit fans that this isn't just about contracts and rankings. It's about community, loyalty, and the kind of blue-collar work ethic that forged this city's identity. Sewell's presence there says he's connected, grounded. And for the Lions, that grounding might just be the steady hand guiding this team through the storm. The next few months will be telling. Will Sewell's community appearances signal a commitment to Michigan football and the future here in Detroit? Or is it a soft sign that his focus might be drifting elsewhere? With the NFC North tightening, every move matters. Ford Field's roar is growing louder, the tailgate's buzzing with anticipation, and yes, some nervous energy. But one thing's for sure, Sewell's status is more than a what-if for Lions fans. It's the biggest win in the room. This moment carries echoes of past heartbreaks, the unfulfilled promise after Barry Sanders retired too soon, the explosive but fleeting peak with Calvin Johnson. Detroit is desperate not to fall back, desperate to finish what we started last year and send a playoff warning shot nobody in the division can ignore. Detroit fans, we want to know, how do you see Sewell's role shaping the future of this Lions team? Will he be the anchor that finally takes us to the mountaintop, or the missed piece that has us asking more questions when the postseason lights dim? The NFC North is watching, so are we. And in Detroit, the work has only just begun. If you want the truth, the pulse of this franchise, and a no-nonsense look at the players and plays that matter, stay locked to Lions News Fan Report. Because in Detroit, hope doesn't wear out. It fights, it builds, it wins. And yes, sometimes it tailgates hard enough to make the parking lot smell like victory, or at least like last season's burnt brats. What if this isn't the end of the shock, but the start of something bigger? The roar at Ford Field just got a whole lot louder, but behind the scenes, whispers say the Lions front office might be cranking up their all-season chessboard faster than anyone anticipated. Could Detroit be on the brink of a seismic roster shakeup? Rumor has it, lead chatter suggests that the initial conversations about Sewell's future are more intense than they appear, contract talks heating up, cap space being stretched, and some insiders hinting that the Lions might be preparing to make a bold move that could redefine their entire offensive line identity. If Sewell, this island of consistency and grit, were to be suddenly off the board, it would send shockwaves through our offense and ripple into the divisional power dynamics. FC North rivals eyeing every potential weakness, especially with Green Bay's defensive retooling and Minnesota's pass rush resurgence. The stakes? Sky high. Detroit's playoff window is closing, and every game, every snap, Feels like the final countdown, especially with two starting linemen walking out the door in free agency. Could the Lions gamble big on re-signing Sewell, or are we staring at a crossroads where a more daring, possibly divisive plan takes shape? The tactical implications are staggering. How does this affect Jared Goff's protection? The run game, the chemistry that Dan Campbell and Ben Johnson have painstakingly crafted? A single injury or contract dispute could shatter the cohesion that took 4 seasons to build, undoing the playoff blueprint that's been meticulously laid out. But if the front office goes into overdrive, aggressively locking him in, then the narrative changes overnight. Meanwhile, the NFC North isn't waiting. The Packers are flexing their muscles with Micah Parsons wreaking havoc on quarterbacks. And let's not forget the Vikings and Bears. They're not just throwing caution. They're throwing everything they've got at Detroit.